In this video, we talk about the real impact of baking soda on men's intimate health, why so many believe it helps with circulation, and how you can make safe decisions based on science. If you've ever come across claims that a teaspoon of baking soda can improve your performance, restore your energy, or even act as a secret weapon for your private health, you're not alone. Aging men often come across these kinds of tips through social media or word of mouth, and it makes sense. Many of these claims sound technical, talking about pH levels, blood flow, or nitric oxide, but don't always come with real science behind them. At the same time, others dismiss these remedies outright without explaining why. So, who should you believe? And more importantly, could drinking baking soda really help with problems like fatigue, circulation, or intimacy? The answer isn't just about yes or no. It's about understanding what's actually happening inside your body and what evidence-based medicine tells us about it. There's a big reason why myths like this gain traction. Many aging men are looking for natural, quick ways to feel stronger and more confident, especially if they're noticing changes they didn't expect. But ignoring the facts or chasing shortcuts can sometimes do more harm than good. For example, drinking large amounts of baking soda can cause digestive upset, raise your blood pressure, or interfere with medications you may already be taking. These aren't small issues, especially if you're already managing chronic conditions. So before you start adding baking soda to your routine or trying a so-called 30-second tonic, it's worth slowing down and asking, what do real doctors and researchers say about this? First, let's address the central question directly. Does drinking baking soda improve circulation or performance? According to current medical research, the answer is no. There are no clinical studies showing that ingesting baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, improves circulation down there or supports health. So where did this idea come from? Some of the confusion may stem from a narrow, older study, a 1993 clinical trial published in the Journal of Urology. In that study, researchers found that adding sodium bicarbonate directly to certain injected medications helped reduce the burning sensation that some men experienced. The pain level dropped significantly, from 58% of men reporting discomfort down to just 5%. But here's the key detail. That was not about drinking baking soda. It involved mixing a small amount of bicarbonate into medication delivered directly into the body through injection, under medical supervision. It was a comfort measure, not a performance booster, and the effect was pain relief, not enhancement. Still, some people misinterpret that isolated finding and apply it to entirely different uses, like drinking baking soda to improve intimacy. That's not how medical science works. If something helps in one form, it doesn't automatically mean it's safe or effective another way. Another place where baking soda has been studied is in high-performance sports. In certain athletic settings, high doses of sodium bicarbonate have been used to reduce lactic acid buildup during intense exercise. But again, this has nothing to do with male health. These protocols are designed for very specific physical stress situations, not everyday use, and certainly not for circulation or intimacy. Yet, the myth keeps spreading, largely because it sounds easy. Stir a spoonful of something already in your kitchen and expect immediate results. These claims often sound scientific, using buzzwords like alkaline and blood flow, but they fall apart under actual medical scrutiny. What's more, many of these online remedies completely ignore the risks. Drinking baking soda, even in moderate amounts, can have significant side effects. It's not just harmless water and powder. 1 teaspoon contains over 1,200 milligrams of sodium, which is more than half the recommended daily limit set by the World Health Organization. For men already monitoring their blood pressure, this can be a serious concern. Excess sodium intake is well known to contribute to hypertension, which itself is a leading cause of male problems in older men. So, ironically, the very thing some men are taking in hopes of improving performance may actually make the problem worse. And let's not overlook the gastrointestinal side effects. A review from Roe and Healthline notes that baking soda can cause bloating, nausea, and diarrhea, symptoms reported in up to 90% of users when taken orally in larger doses. These aren't rare or theoretical risks, they are common, well-documented side effects. And lastly, there's the issue of drug interactions. Sodium bicarbonate can affect how the body absorbs or processes other medications, including common treatments for acid reflux, high blood pressure, and certain antibiotics. That means it can reduce the effectiveness of medicines many men rely on daily. So, while the idea of using a household item to improve health may seem appealing, the evidence simply doesn't support it when it comes to men's performance or vascular health. And the risks are real, not imagined. In contrast, medical institutions and peer-reviewed journals recommend evidence-based treatments, such as prescription medications that have been thoroughly tested and lifestyle strategies that support overall blood flow and hormonal balance. Proper circulation isn't just about one system in the body, it's the result of several important processes working together. As men age, changes in the cardiovascular system, nervous system, hormones, and even emotional well-being all play a role. When these systems are well balanced, the body is more responsive. When they're out of sync, that's when problems may start to appear. Let's start with the basics. Sufficient circulation depends on proper blood flow. When a man becomes aroused, nerve signals from the brain trigger the release of a molecule called nitric oxide into the blood vessels. Nitric oxide acts as a chemical messenger that tells the smooth muscles around the arteries to relax. This allows the vessels to dilate or widen so that more blood can flow in. At the same time, the outgoing blood is temporarily restricted, allowing pressure to build. That's what creates the firmness and stability required for intimacy. This entire process is often referred to as the vascular response, and it's extremely sensitive to health conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, poor circulation, and hormonal imbalance. So now the question becomes, what role, if any, does baking soda play in this vascular response? The short answer, very little to none. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is a substance that primarily affects the acid-base balance in your stomach and, to a lesser extent, your blood. It works by neutralizing stomach acid, which is why it's found in some over-the-counter antacid products. When ingested, it does have a temporary alkalizing effect, but only in a limited and superficial way. Your body has built-in systems, namely your lungs and kidneys, that tightly regulate your blood's pH to stay within a narrow, healthy range. And they do this very efficiently, without needing outside help. That's why the idea that drinking baking soda will alkalize your entire system and create major changes in blood flow or circulation is not grounded in real physiology. Let's take a closer look at 3 medical reasons why taking baking soda for performance issues not only fails to help, but can actually cause harm. Elevated sodium can raise blood pressure. A single teaspoon of baking soda contains roughly 1,260 milligrams of sodium. That's more than half of the recommended daily sodium intake, according to the World Health Organization. For men over 50, especially those managing high blood pressure or heart disease, that's a serious concern. When sodium levels in your bloodstream increase, your body tries to balance things out by retaining more water. This leads to increased blood volume, which in turn puts more pressure on blood vessel walls. The result? Higher blood pressure, a major contributor to circulation problems. In fact, hypertension is one of the most common underlying causes of dysfunction. If your arteries are stiff or narrowed from long-term pressure overload, blood simply can't flow properly into the smaller vessels that serve the pelvic region. So rather than improving circulation, excessive sodium intake, whether from processed foods or baking soda, may quietly make performance issues worse. Metabolic alkalosis is a real and serious risk. When too much bicarbonate is introduced into the body, it can cause a condition called metabolic alkalosis. This is a shift in the body's pH that makes the blood too alkaline, something the body works hard to prevent. But if this balance is disrupted, several complications can occur. Symptoms of metabolic alkalosis can include muscle twitching or cramps, hand tremors, nausea and vomiting, confusion or dizziness, irregular heartbeat or palpitations. In older adults, particularly those with reduced kidney function, heart disease, or who are taking multiple medications, this shift in pH can become dangerous. It can interfere with potassium and calcium levels, 2 minerals that are critical for muscle and nerve function, including those needed for healthy circulation and response. Gastrointestinal discomfort and medication interference. Even before it causes problems in the bloodstream, baking soda can disrupt the digestive system. In clinical studies and reviews, up to 90% of individuals who ingested baking soda in larger doses reported bloating, gas, stomach pain, nausea, or diarrhea. These side effects may seem minor at first, but they can be uncomfortable, inconvenient, and in some cases, signal more serious imbalances in digestion or fluid regulation. Beyond that, baking soda can change the acidity in your stomach, which in turn can alter how certain medications are absorbed. Medications that require a low stomach pH to work, such as for acid reflux, certain antibiotics, or iron supplements, may become less effective. This can lead to poor treatment results or interactions you might not expect. It's also important to mention this. Claims that baking soda boosts nitric oxide production are not supported by scientific evidence. Nitric oxide pathways are influenced by factors like endothelial health, the inner lining of blood vessels, physical activity, dietary nitrates, and testosterone levels. They are not driven by attempts to change your pH through kitchen ingredients. The body is built with systems of balance and protection. That includes a buffering system to keep pH stable, a cardiovascular system to manage blood flow, and a hormonal system to regulate energy, libido, and recovery. If you're noticing changes in your performance, whether that's related to stamina, recovery, or response, it's important to look at the full picture. Factors like cardiovascular fitness, blood pressure, testosterone balance, mental health, stress, medication use, and dietary patterns all play a role. The encouraging part is this. There are safe, medically supported steps you can take to address these areas, without relying on unproven shortcuts. We'll go over 5 practical, research-backed actions you can start today to support your health in ways that are safe, sustainable, and backed by decades of clinical experience. 1. Prioritize your heart health. 2. Include nitrate-rich foods in your diet. 3. Move your body daily. 4. Discuss proven treatment options with your doctor. 5. Avoid excess sodium from hidden sources. The bottom line is this. You don't need miracle cures or secret recipes to improve your health. What works best is often what's been proven to work. Attention to cardiovascular health, good nutrition, physical activity, and trusted medical care. You deserve care that respects your experience, values your time, and actually helps you feel better, not just promises results without evidence. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Instead, choose approaches that are safe, tested, and long-term. Talk to a trusted healthcare provider before making any changes. And always remember, all information provided in this video and channel is for educational and informational purposes only. Always consult a medical professional about your specific circumstances and before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, supplements, or medication.